Hi everyone, my name is Chris P, and today I'm joined by a group of players to discuss tryouts. So, Wheeler and Choche, you want to introduce yourselves first?
My name is Jorge, and I'm from Georgia Rush.
Fantastic.
My name is Wheeler, and I'm from Virginia Rush.
Henry?
Hi, I'm Henry. I'm from Virginia Rush.
Mr. Baka?
Hi, I'm Baka. I'm from Kansas Rush.
And then our last two friends?
I am Oscar, and I'm from Virginia Rush. I'm Isaac, and I'm from Virginia Rush.
Brilliant. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We're just going to talk a little bit about tryouts and how you feel around tryout time. Okay, so I'm going to take that question to Baka first, and then I'm going to open it up for you guys to discuss. You have to unmute first, Baka.
Okay. So around tryout time, I feel pretty good. Mostly excited when the time comes around because you get to see your teammates again if you went on vacation or whatever happened. And it's just a good time. You meet new people, so I enjoy that part.
Brilliant. Anybody have anything to add to that? Choche? Unmute. And just stay unmuted.
I would like he said, I always enjoyed coming back from high school season down in Georgia. We come back from high school season, and seeing all your teammates and stuff, and seeing the new players and getting back to it.
Yeah, fantastic. Did any of you feel nervous or stressed around tryout time? And I'll take that question to Henry first, and then I'll go to Isaac and Oscar.
Yeah, I didn't really feel that nervous at all. It was kind of relaxed and just fun to play with everyone.
Yeah. Did any of you feel nervous or stressed? Wheeler?
No, I'm usually not stressed. I'm always just comfortable and just play the normal way I do.
Yeah. Isaac or Oscar?
I'm really just excited for tryouts.
Yeah, so good. So it was good that none of you felt nervous or stressed, but I should also state that you all guys play on first teams within your club, yes? Right, and if I'm honest, I would say that you're also some of the better players on your club. So it was a good thing that you didn't feel nervous or stressed. Have you ever gone into a tryout, Jorge, when you tried out for Select, or Baka, when you tried out for Select? Did you feel nervous or stressed going into those processes, into that new environment? We'll go with Jorge first, and then we'll go to Bakaru.
Generally, when I first went there, the thing that I was like, I wouldn't say nervous. I just wasn't sure of what to expect. I believed in myself and I believed in my ability, but I just didn't know what to expect. And also helped that I was going with my friend from a long time, Dylan, who I played with for a long time. Like he was comforting me, so I wouldn't say necessarily nervous, but I just didn't know really what to expect.
Okay, so not knowing what to expect. So the unexpected, yeah, Bakary?
I was pretty nervous my first time actually in Arizona because I didn't know what kind of other players there would be there and stuff, and how my playing style would fit into the Rush way or how Rush Select would do it, because we didn't usually play the same formation and that kind of stuff there. So I was a bit nervous at first.
Yeah, and what do you think it was that made you nervous? And just hold on to that thought for a second. But Chochi, I'm going to come back to you and talk about your Virginia Beach United tryout and how you felt about that, because I was able to witness you at Rush Select tryouts and also the Virginia Beach United tryouts per se. So we'll come back to that and we'll let Baka answer on why he was nervous. Go ahead, Baka. You have to unmute. No, Baka.
Am I going?
Yeah. So tell us why you were nervous, and not knowing what to expect, not knowing the formation, not knowing the rush way and how you fit in. But just tell us what you thought and why you were nervous, and where those nerves came from, Baka.
I think it was really because there was a lot of kids there, and a whole lot of people, only a couple spots. You have to be at your best every single time. And that kind of got in my head a little bit, but all I did was give it my all day. So
Brilliant. So what you'd say to players going into a new situation is give it your best and give it your all and relax and be yourself. Yeah?
exactly.
Yeah, brilliant. Choche, tell us about your VBU tryout.
My VBU tryout, it was kind of to
Let
be
me
honest.
rephrase it, Choche.
I'm sorry?
Let me rephrase it. Were you yourself during that tryout? Were you
No, I feel
Jorge?
like I kind of like went into my own shell, into a little shell, which I'm usually not. I wasn't playing like myself. Um, yeah, I think mostly just because it was just like a whole different environment other than what I've experienced. Like growing up, I always played for Rush, and then all of a sudden, all these college kids are coming to play here at VBU for the summer, and and it was um, I don't want to say it wasn't it wasn't a friendly environment, but it was extremely competitive, and everyone's battling for that first team spot. So it was definitely different.
Yeah, definitely different. I hear you say. I just turned off my camera for a second, fellas. So it was different for you. And let me go to Henry and Isaac and Oscar and ask them, right, after tryouts are done and you're waiting to get notified, how do you feel? Because there's a waiting period, right? So Henry, Isaac, Oscar, Wheeler, and then Baka. And then Baka, I want you to talk a little bit about the Kansas Rush tryouts and the process, because I was able to witness that. And then you can talk about how your tryout went. But first, we'll go with the younger boys, asking how they feel while they're waiting to get notification of their team. Unmute.
I was feeling kind of nervous. I was just doing stuff to get my mind off it and trying to stay positive.
Yeah, I never really thought about it because I don't really like to overthink things like that. So just hope for the best.
So you didn't, yeah, I like that. I like that. So Oscar, I heard you say you were nervous and just waiting, anxious. And then Henry, I love that you said you didn't want to overthink it. And Isaac, I heard you said that you just did other things to take your mind off it. Wheeler, what about you when you were waiting to hear?
I just try and keep it like a normal day because like there's no need to be stressed out. Just be calm.
Yeah. And why did you say that there's no need to be stressed out and you just want to be calm?
Because it's just like an everyday thing. Like when you play soccer, it's just like how you play, and like it's up to you if you want to train harder to get better, to get the top spot.
So you're saying take care of your own development and do things away from training.
Yes.
I love that, Wheeler. Great advice. So Baka, take us through your tryout process and how it was different this year to years past, because I was lucky enough to be at your tryouts and work with the 06 boys there in Kansas Rush, who were in fact State Cup finalists. I'm going to come back even stronger this year to try and be State Cup champions. So Baka, talk to us a little bit about that.
So our tryout was a little different this year because we had recently played our State Cup final like a week or two prior to tryouts. And so our keeper decided he didn't want to play anymore. And so we didn't have any keepers show up to our tryout. So it was a little different for my team itself. But all around, we joined two new groups for our boys' side and our girls' side. The Girls Academy for our girls' side and the Elite Academy for the boys' side. So a lot more people showed up to tryouts. And so it was fun to see and fun to play with more new people. So that was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, your team seems to gonna get stronger, Baka. And there was actually a few boys there from Wichita in Kansas. How far is Wichita from where you are in Olathe?
I think it's about 2 hours, maybe.
Yeah, 2 to 3 hours, isn't it? So
Yeah.
I think that was huge. So That was brilliant. So, boys, if you all want to unmute, we're getting down to our final couple of questions, and I don't want to keep you for too long. What I was going to say is if you were to give advice to coaches or clubs on how to make tryouts better, what advice would you give those coaches and clubs to make it better for the players? And Jorge, as you were involved in Virginia Rush tryouts as a coach, but also in Georgia Rush tryouts as a player, you know, if you guys want to give us some ideas on making the process better for the players involved and maybe making it a little bit easier for the parents. So guys, unmute and feel free to go away. We'll start with Choche, then we'll go with Wheeler, and then we'll go back to Baka and add in Oscar, Isaac, and Henry.
Yeah. Well, what I always liked about Georgia Rush tryouts is that always the first day, we wouldn't necessarily just jump straight into games. Instead, we'd like do one-on-ones and like kind of see like you could like pick and choose. We do certain drills so where you can pick and choose like your strengths, and so that you could showcase your strengths a little more. And I always liked that. And I actually have a friend. His name is Abraham. He plays right back for the O2 team, and I think he performed really well on that very first day. But after that, he didn't perform as well as he would have liked. But that first day, he did so well that he made the first team, and he's still on the O2 team to this day. So I think giving like a broader, I guess, I don't know, like different drills to
So what you're saying is activities where players can show their individual skill set.
yeah, exactly. So I always like that, and always made me comfortable because I could see kind of who was there, and I kind of get a feel for the tryouts, and then the next day kind of know what to expect, rather than just get thrown into games and go from there.
Brilliant. So you heard it from Georgia, from Jorge. He says more individualized things and activities to bring out individual skill sets and have players competing in a smaller number environment. Brilliant. Wheeler, what would you say?
I like the way that Virginia Rush trials work. Like we start off with technical stuff like dribbling and passing, then we go into 4v4 and 7v7 games at the end. For me, I really like that because like first, like you can work on like your technical skills. Then after that, you can go on and have fun.
Yeah, go on and have fun. Are you trying to say that technical skills aren't fun, Wheeler, or the technical
No.
skills are fun?
But the games can be in a funner way.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. Good answers, Wheeler. Isaac and Oscar, and then Henry, and then we're coming to you, Baka, on what you'd like to see more of and what advice you'd give to clubs.
I feel like they covered the tryouts.
You think they covered them? There's nothing else you'd like to add to that? Oscar, what did you do in Honduras when you had trials and tryouts?
I actually don't have tryouts. I actually just have training. There were times that we were like a Friday we gotta do like games, and well, the coach is seeing you. If you play like very good on trainings, they call you to play the game on Saturday.
Okay, so you did games on a Friday and then you got called to play to the game on Saturday, which were the tryouts in Honduras. Fantastic. I like that. Henry, what would you say? What advice would you give to coaches and clubs to make the tryout process better to suit you? And then Baka, we're coming to you next.
I think to make it a little more feel like training instead of make it feel like a game-based type thing. I think I'd like to see more of it, make it feel like a training.
Yeah. So just keep it the environment as normal as possible to remove stress out of it, Henry, is what you're saying? Yeah, brilliant. And Baka, what would you say? What advice would you give?
I think the best part, like to really see someone, is to let them play. You know, how freely they can play and what they can do on the field. And I think there should be like 3-4 days maybe of tryouts, because if somebody does have a bad day, you can see how well they can bounce back from that and how good they really are in a couple of days.
Yeah, listen, I think that's a really valid point, Baka, right? To have 3 or 4 days of tryouts instead of 1 or 2 days. I think that's an interesting idea, because when trialists go to professional clubs, they have 5 or 6 weeks, right? Because they want to see how they perform in 5 or 6 weeks. And I think it's presumptuous sometimes as coaches that if somebody has a bad day or a second bad day or one good day, like Jorge said, for his buddy Abraham, where they can make a team based on one good day as opposed to a body of work. So I think that's really important stuff. So let me ask you this question. So if you were to be moved from a first team to a second team to a third team, or a third team to a second team to first team, how would you like to be notified of this change in team? Would you like to be notified in person, via email, over a phone call? You know, if you were trending up or trending down per se, how would you, the players, like that information to come? And I'll start with Baka, then I'm going to go to Oscar and Isaac, and then I'll finish with Henry, Choche, and Rila.
Personally, I think the best thing would to be to talk in person,
Okay, talk in
because
person. Yeah.
I would feel more comfortable knowing that my coach would feel more comfortable telling me in person. This I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, you've not had to be moved down yet, Baka. But
Not yet.
not yet. Maybe
Hopefully
it won't
not.
happen. Yeah. Oscar and Isaac, if you were to
I
be
think
moved up
it's
or moved down.
I think it's better being in person because like we can talk about things that we get more comfortable talking about how I'm going down to second team.
Yeah. And you know,
And
you don't want to. Would you want to find out before, during, after, or do you think it's going to be evident because you've had ongoing conversations with your coach and it shouldn't be a surprise? Yeah. Isaac?
I feel like I'd probably do it in person, like
In
everybody
person as well?
else,
Yeah.
because yeah, like Oscar said, it would get me more comfortable talking to people, talking about like what I need to work on and stuff, or what I'm improving on.
Brilliant. Henry, would you like it in a handwritten letter, a text message, or in person as well, Henry?
I think I would like it in person because then you can really like know the reasoning behind it. And I think it would be much easier to communicate.
Yeah, I love that, Henry. Good point. So easier to communicate, and then you know the reasoning behind it, and it gives you an opportunity to know what you have to work on, which you should know prior, right? Choche and Wheeler?
I would also say in person because like pretend you get dropped from the first team to the second team, the coach or someone could tell you like what you could work on harder to get back up to the first team.
Yeah, brilliant answer, Wheeler. Good. Choche?
I'd have to agree with everyone else. I think in person, because I think like from a coach to a player, there's like a special relationship. And I think like out of respect and out of for the development of the player, I think in person would be best.
Brilliant. I love that. So now, boys, we're actually going to finish up. But if you have any other thoughts to share about what playing for Rush has meant to you over the years, that would be great. And thank you for joining us. So if anybody has any special memories to share, Choche, I know there's one for you in Costa Rica. Do you want to talk a little bit about that trip, Choche, and what Rush has done for you? Obviously, you and I met through Rush. You are now in Virginia Rush, playing for Virginia Beach United, staying at a Virginia Rush player's house. You want to talk a little bit about the power of Rush and give some advice to these younger ones and people who will watch this after?
Well, really, Rush has opened the door for everything. I used to play on the third team back in Georgia. I wasn't that great, and then I just started working on my own, and then before I knew it, I was the captain of the first team. And then I got
in Costa Rica.
Yeah, and then I got called to Arizona, and then went to Costa Rica where I met his older brother Hamilton, and yourself. And that was just a great experience, great memories, great soccer, great everything. And then I also got the chance, I think it was 2 years ago, to go to Sweden and play in Gothia Cup, which was another great experience. Yeah, I mean, Rush has opened the doors for me. Yeah, it's really allowed my career to develop the way he has.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, Jorge, and thanks for being such a great leader and role model to these younger boys too. So Baka, do you want to talk a little bit and leave some rush memories and some advice? You might have to unmute first, Baka. There we go.
I would have to say my first state cup game. That was probably my best rush memory. And also playing in Rush Select. Those two were top two. My first state cup game, I scored a hat trick and we won that game. We didn't end up winning state cup, but that game still meant a lot to me. And then in Rush Select Nationals, I think it was 2017, 2018, something like that. We won the tournament. So that was very fun to play with guys from all over.
Brilliant, brilliant, Baka. Henry, do you want to talk a little bit about the memory when Oscar scored his bike? That's a good memory, right?
Yeah, that was a really fun tournament. It was a crazy moment when Oscar hit that bike.
Yeah, Henry, and it's so indicative of you to have a memory that is somebody to do with somebody else. So that's brilliant. So we'll finish up with Isaac and Wheeler. And then what advice you'd give to younger players and what moments that, and I know Wheeler, you're coming up to Rush Fest, so you might have a different answer after this, but just tell us about your Rush memories and what advice you'd give to other players. We'll go with Wheeler first, and then we'll finish with Isaac.
So one of my favorite Rush memories was, I believe it was my first 7v7 game, and it was with Coach Chris, and I don't remember, but I scored a hat trick that game, and we won like 10-0.
Yeah, that's a good memory, Wheels. I remember. And it's funny that you and Becca both scored hat tricks. Hopefully that's not the last ones you score. But Isaac, give us your favorite Rush memory, and then we'll close off with you. Actually, we'll close off with Oscar's favorite Rush memory.
Okay. My favorite Rush memory is probably the first game of 7v7, like Wheeler. It was my first game playing on my new team. And I scored the first goal. And we went on to win. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Oscar, you want to share your favorite memory?
Well, it was when we went to North Carolina, I think. Yeah, we went. That was my first game. We win, but I didn't score. But that's my favorite.
Brilliant, brilliant. Well, fellas, thank you so much